Okay, so for all of these right triangles where you're trying to find sides or angles, we're using trigonometry. So a big thing with trigonometry is this acronym. SOHCAHTOA. So we break it into three parts. The SOH stands for the sine function, and that's going to be your opposite side over the hypotenuse. Cosine is the next function, and that's going to be the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. And then tangent is your third function, and that is the opposite side over the adjacent side. You can see these three functions, sine, cosine, and tangent, on your calculator. So that's where you would go to use them. So I'm going to do number 4 on page 11. So I can show you how we would do this. Okay, so most importantly is we have to be able to label your sides opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. So opposite is always going to be across from the angle that's given to you. So go directly across from that angle. That is the opposite side. No matter where the angle is, going directly across from it, that's going to give you opposite. And then go across from the right angle, and that's going to give you the hypotenuse. And then the one side that's left over is going to be the adjacent. So it's going to change depending on where the angle is. So then you want to look and see which two sides have x and a number. So we have this side. We have this side where x and 19 are. So that is the opposite side and the hypotenuse. Opposite and hypotenuse. So you want to look over here between sine, cosine, and tangent and figure out which one has O and H. So when I come over here, I see that the sine function has opposite and hypotenuse. So that's why I'm going to use the sine function. So the sine, and then next to that you put your angle. So the sine of 28 is going to be equal to O over H. So O, the opposite, was x, and then H was 19. So it's going to be equal to x over 19. And your goal is to get x by itself. So right now it's being divided by 19, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 19. So once I do that, I have x by itself. And then that's what we're going to put into your calculator. And you're going to type it in just like that. The 19 is first, and then sine 28. So depending on the calculator, you might have to change the mode, which I can show you in a different video. So once you put this in your calculator, you get x is 8.9. Okay, so let's look at number 7. So here's your picture for number 7. I want to make sure I have my acronym, SOHCAHTOA, ready to look at. You should put this down the side of all of your papers. So we're going to label our sides. Go across from the 55-degree angle, that's your opposite side. Across from the right angle is the hypotenuse, and then left over is the adjacent. So now we're going to look and see which sides give me information where x and a number is. So here's x, here's my number. So that's the opposite side and the adjacent. So I'm looking for O and A. I found O and A here. with tangent. So I'm going to set up an equation using tangent. And then next to tangent is the angle, is equal to, remember, O over A. So O was X and A was 8. So equal to X over 8. So multiply both sides by 8 to get X by itself. So once you do that, you have X by itself, and you can put that into your calculator just like that, depending on the calculator. So you get X to be 11.4. So let's try one more, number 9. Okay, so here's your picture for number 9. You're going to label your sides based on the 43-degree angle. So go across from 43. That is your opposite side. Across from the right angle is your hypotenuse, and then left over is the adjacent. So looking at where we have X and our number would be here and here. So that's the hypotenuse and the adjacent. So we want to always have our acronym, SOHCAHTOA, on the side of our paper. So we want to look for which one has A and H. So I see that here with cosine. So I'm going to use cosine of the angle, 43 degrees, is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Your adjacent was 36 and your hypotenuse was X. So we want to get X by itself. This one's a little bit different though because you have X on the bottom. So we're going to visualize a little bit different. We're going to put 1 underneath and kind of treat this as it's a proportion and cross multiply. So you'd cross multiply here and here. So I'm just going to go to another page to have a little bit more room. So when we cross multiply, it would look like X times the cosine of 43 is equal to 36. So this one just has one extra step because we actually don't have X by itself. X is being multiplied by cosine of 43. Cosine of 43 is one number, so you can't pull that apart. It's one number. And since it's being multiplied, to undo it, you're going to divide by cosine of 43 and do it to both sides. So X is equal to the 36 divided by the cosine of 43. And you would put that right into your calculators, making sure that you're in degree mode. And X would equal 49.2.